So last week, Sam brought up the Jade Helm 15 conspiracy theory that's spreading through the country. Most likely you've seen it on Facebook via your right-wing family members who may live in Texas or Utah. Basically what's going on is conspiracy theorists believe, and many right-wingers are part of this group of conspiracy theorists, that there is a military coup on the way because there are training exercises going on in the deserts of Texas and Utah and other Western American states of the U.S. military. And this is clearly, obviously, Obama preparing for martial law, according to them. Obviously. What else would it be? I mean, it couldn't possibly be that the terrain in those American states are most closest to the terrain in Middle Eastern countries that we're involved in, and that's the perfect area for them to train in so they can be prepared for the terrain overseas. Couldn't be that. That sounds insane.
Stop trying to distract us.
That sounds insane.
We know what's happening.
But this conspiracy theory has taken such a life of its own that Texas Governor Greg Abbott has felt the need to spend taxpayers' money to inquire into this and look into this and find out what's really going on. Now, it's bad enough that a governor of a state as large as Texas is this crazy and insane himself to believe his own crazy and insane constituents. But Rand Paul was asked, a clip we played also last week, you can find it on our YouTube channel, where he said, I'm not familiar with this, I'll take a look at it. Usually we wouldn't give him such a pass, but because how he said what he said, we said, maybe this insane conspiracy theory actually hasn't gotten as high as, Senator Rand Paul, who's running for president. So we gave him the benefit of the doubt. We said maybe he didn't hear about this. He said he'll look into it as in, let me check out this conspiracy theory. Oh, look, it is batshit crazy. I'm not taking this any further. We don't know if that's how he's felt yet, but we gave that to him. But we can't give that same thing to Ted Cruz. He does not deserve that same benefit of the doubt because over the weekend, he came out in an interview with Dave Weigel and he said this.
Well, I have a great deal of faith and confidence in Governor Abbott. He is a longtime friend and mentor of mine. I understand the concern that's been raised by a lot of citizens about Jade Helm. It's a question I'm getting a lot. And I think part of the reason is we have seen for 6 years a federal government disrespecting the liberty of the citizens. And that produces fear. When you see a federal government that is attacking our free speech rights or religious liberty rights or Second Amendment rights, that produces distrust as to government. Now, my office, we've reached out to the Pentagon to inquire about this exercise. We're assured that it is a military training exercise. And I have no reason to doubt those assurances, but I understand the reason for concern and uncertainty because when the federal government has not demonstrated itself to be trustworthy in this administration, the natural consequence is that many of the citizens don't trust what it's saying.
Now, kudos to Ted Cruz. We'll give him that for outright saying, I don't believe in this Jade Helm conspiracy theory. I personally don't believe it. Kudos to Ted Cruz for not being 100% batshit insane. But for giving any sort of credence to this idea, to take these conspiracy theorists and say, I looked into this issue, I contacted the Pentagon, because, they have a good reason to believe this. You're about maybe, let's say, on this issue, 85%, maybe 90% batshit insane. You are giving this dangerous fringe some sort of legitimacy by saying and actually contacting the Pentagon and asking them, so you guys are training for a military coup over there in Texas? And then to say they have real reason to not trust their government. I understand where they're coming from. Yeah, okay, there are good reasons, I guess, not to trust your government in certain areas. The NSA revelations have certainly proven that there are things that the government does that you can't, there needs to be those checks and balances to make sure they're not getting away with abusing their powers. But to believe that distrust is the same as believing that there's a military operation going on in Texas, Utah, and a number of other Western American states that are currently training and preparing for martial law and a military coup because Obama wants to take over the country via armed forces, ostensibly, obviously, to take away your guns, to ban your religion and burn down your churches and make gay marriage the law of the land.
I'm getting hard just thinking about it. It's great.
It's
Can't wait.
ludicrous. And let's just for a second believe that that Obama is this mastermind, that the government is this nefarious entity that's planning to take over the country via military coup, implement martial law, and Obama will become the tyrannical dictator that the right wing believes him to be. You think Ted Cruz would be able to call the Pentagon and be like, is this thing actually happening? And the Pentagon going, of course not. You would believe that? Maybe Ted Cruz trusts this government too much. I mean, it's just bizarre and insane. Doesn't make any sense.
Just a follow-up question. You guys planning on turning Texas into an Islamic caliphate and taking away our guns?
No way.
Hey, that's great, though. It's like, any other questions on the docket for today? Yeah. You guys planning on declaring martial law on us? Just been hearing about that.
We don't trust you guys, but if you tell us no, we'll believe it.
Oh, you're not? Cool, great. All right, because
Thanks.
people are a little worried about that.